Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you very much for your responses. Okay. So let's stop the chat. As planned, what's the topic for today's session? We are getting into the next service called as S3. Okay. So we are now moving on to the next service called as S3. So what's our agenda for today's session? Our agenda for today's session is to understand the concept of S3. We'll discuss about some features of S3. We'll experience how to create a bucket. We'll understand what is a bucket, what is the importance of bucket. We'll understand how to create a bucket, how to upload the objects into the bucket, how can we access the object, how to make the object private, how to delete an object, and how to delete the bucket. And let's discuss about some of the options available in the bucket. So this is our plan for our today's session. So this means you have to understand that we are getting into the practicals of S3 in today's session. Okay, so before getting into the today's agenda, let's have a quick interaction. Yes, this time with Bharat Sharma. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunil.
How are
Thanks
you doing?
for giving. Yeah, good. What about you?
Doing well, thank you, Bharat. Yes.
Thanks for providing such a valuable courses
Thank
and steps. So
Yeah.
my question is that in auto scaling, we have minimized. We have given 4 instances.
Yes.
Okay. So if any instances is down, so in auto scaling, it will be create automatically or what?
At any point of time, minimum number of instances maintained is 4. Okay. Because of any reason, if one instance is down, automatically it creates a new instance and makes sure that always at any point of time it maintains the minimum number of instances.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the second question is from we are creating some snapshot from Linux to Linux. So if this is possible, we will create the snapshot or volume from Linux to Windows.
No, it's not possible. Okay, because the format changes. Okay, so it should be same operating system, either it is Linux or Windows. Okay.
So we are creating volume only, na? So it might be there is some possible because in the Linux or
No, the volume which is there for Linux EC2 you cannot attach the same volume to Windows. Okay.
Okay.
Are you understanding? The finally EC2 machine's operating system differs, isn't it? So you need to attach it to Windows or Linux to Linux or something like that. Okay.
We can't copy from Windows to Linux or Linux to Windows.
You can copy the snapshots, but you cannot attach to EC2 machines which is from Linux to Windows. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you, Bharat. Rumana. Any question, Rumana? Good morning, Rumana. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My question is regarding DevOps batch. I wanted to know if I enroll, will I get the recording?
Yes, you get the recordings also for the cost of 3,499.
Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for the opportunity
Thank
for
you.
learning things.
Thank you, Ramna. Thank you, Rumana. You're from which location?
I'm from Maharashtra, Malegaon, Nasik district.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Rumana.
Thank you.
Sushanta Kumar Sahu.
From Gurgaon, actually.
Okay.
So actually my question is that scale up and scale in regarding that. So if we are giving scale up, the increases.
No. 1 minute. Yes, 1 minute. Your question is?
Scale up and scale in. So if we are increasing the volume size, so is there any charges for?
1 minute.
Hello.
Point. Tell me which is horizontal scaling and which is vertical scaling.
Yeah, it's horizontal. If we are increasing the volume size, then we can that.
Can you see there are 2 options? Option 1, scale up and scale down. Option 2, scale in and scale out. Okay.
Yeah.
Scale up and scale down. It is what type of scaling? Horizontal or vertical?
This is horizontal.
What do you mean by horizontal?
If we are increasing the size of that volume, so we can tell that horizontal.
No, that's wrong. Horizontal is all about altogether creating a new EC2 machine. Okay. Auto scaling comes under horizontal scaling. Sushanta.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we are creating altogether a new EC2 machine. That's called auto scaling. Auto scaling comes under horizontal scaling. Scale up is nothing but increasing the hardware configuration. This is called vertical. Okay. Increasing the
Okay.
hardware configuration of existing EC2 machine is called a scale up. Okay. That's called vertical scaling. Am I clear about scale up?
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opposite of scale up is scale down. That means
Yeah.
decreasing the configuration of existing infrastructure is called a scale down. Clear, Sahu?
Yes, sir.
Now scale in is scale out is increasing the number of machines. Scale in is decreasing the number of machines, which is horizontal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Scale out is nothing but increasing the number
Decreasing
of
the number of machines.
scale out, increasing
Yes.
the number of machines.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scale in is opposite, decreasing the number of machines. This comes under horizontal.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please look at the recordings.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So my question is that if we are increasing the size of the volume, so is there any charges from
Yeah,
AWS?
obviously you will be charged for it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Actually, we are choosing the basic plan, free basic
Free
plan.
tier. So for in the free tier instance, they are providing. Have you observed? For Linux instances, they are providing 8 GB hard drive volume. Sushanta,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it?
Yeah.
If you increase it to 10 GB, the remaining 2 GB is billable. You get the bill for the remaining 2 GB.
Okay, sir.
Okay, 8 GB is what AWS provides you for free. But if you want 10 GB, you have to pay for that additional 2 GB what you are increasing.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, giving this opportunity.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you very
we
much.
have clear many things.
Thank you. Please practice also. That's very important.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Let's have one more interaction. Tanish Mahajan.
Hello, very good morning.
Good morning, Tanish. How are you doing?
Actually, I have a question regarding the new batch starting of the DevOps.
Okay.
Like, will it be a complete training of the DevOps, or we have to do something from our side also?
That's a complete. I mean, DevOps there are total 45 tools in DevOps.
Okay.
Okay. How many tools? 45 tools.
tools.
Okay. So what we are covering is, I think, 7 tools. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I have picked up widely used. Nobody will learn all the 45 tools. Okay. So I have picked up widely used tools in the market and I have designed the content. The course content is available in the WhatsApp group description. You can have a look at it. Tanish. Okay.
And one more question, like, and many companies are coming to my college and they have mentioned like CI/CD pipeline.
CI/CD problem is nothing but Jenkins tool, which will be covering in DevOps.
Okay. So that will be also covering in this
Yes, that is covered.
And last question, like, I want to go for my cybersecurity domain, and there is like DevSecOps. So I have to learn DevOps first for going into that field, or like?
Yes, it's always good to learn DevOps and then go to DevSecOps.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Akole. Dobe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Akole. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine. I'm calling from, I'm in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is, I'm referring to the volume. Let's say that you created a volume in a Linux machine, right?
Okay.
And then the machine you want to transfer to is a Windows machine. I understand that first you have to convert that to a snapshot and move the snapshot. So is it possible?
You want to connect a volume from Linux to the same volume, you want to move to other region, and then you want to connect to Windows machine. Agree?
Windows, yes.
No,
yes.
generally it's not possible. It should be same operating system.
Same
Okay.
operating system. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Anything more? Anything more, Akole?
I'm sorry?
Any more questions?
No, that'll be all. And I just registered for the DevOps class. So
Okay,
do I need any programming background before I attend the DevOps class?
not required. No
Okay.
programming knowledge is required. The basics of Linux is required for DevOps. Anyways, I'll be covering the Linux part in the
Okay.
DevOps training itself.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Very
are
much.
doing a great job, by the way. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on. So we are getting into the next service of AWS that's called as S3. Okay. So let's have a look at the understanding what exactly S3 is. S3 is a secure, durable, highly scalable object storage. This is very, very important. You have to use these terminologies in the interview. If anybody asks you what is S3, you should say it as S3 is an object storage. You can store objects. Objects are nothing but files. Object storage is nothing but files. You can store files. It can be documents. It can be PDFs. It can be images. It can be audio files. It can be video files. It's just file storage, technically speaking. It's a file storage. It can be zip file or a RAR file, whatever it is. We all experience a Google Drive, right? Google Drive, we can store our files, right? It can be audio files or video files or documents, images. Whatever you want, you can store it in Google Drive, isn't it? Same like that. So similar to Google Drive, like Google Drive is a file storage. Here, all this is also a file storage, but here AWS terms as object storage. Object refers to files. S3 is easy to use, very easy. The user interface is very, very simple. The simple web service interface. Okay, you can store and retrieve any amounts of data. There is no restriction of file size. You will never get a message saying that the size is full. Unlimited data. Any amount of data from anywhere in the world you can upload and you can access it. So I hope you got some information about S3. S3 is an object storage. In other words, it's a file storage. It is simple, secure, scalable. There's no restriction with respect to size. You can store any amount of files or any size of files in S3 service. Let's learn more. It's a safe place to store your files. You don't need to worry about this. It's an object-based storage. That means a file storage. Okay. And the file, each file can be up to 5 terabytes. Each file size, the maximum file size, when you're uploading a file, the file can be maximum up to 5 TB. In case if you are using graphical access, if you are uploading the file using the CLI, command line interface, the file size is maximum 5 GB. Each file size I'm talking about. Okay. So when you are uploading the files using the graphical access or console access, the maximum file size limit is 5 TB. If it is from the command line, it is 5 GB. It's an unlimited storage. Okay, so what is command line? We'll experience soon. Okay, what is command line? So right now, whatever we are accessing is a console access. Anyways, I will be in detail explaining about the graphical access as well as console access. It's an unlimited storage, as I have just mentioned. It is an unlimited storage. Objects are stored in buckets. Very, very important. You have to understand this term called bucket. Let's say let's say you want to upload an object in S3. Let's say you want to upload an object in S3. What object? For example, any object. It can be image or a document, whatever it is. Let's say, for example, this is the image. Can you see this is the image? I want to upload this object into S3. Whenever you want to upload an object, it's a two-step process. Don't think that we log into AWS and select the service S3 and we can start uploading. No. Step one, what you need to do is you need to create a bucket. Mandatory. Bucket creation is mandatory. If you want to use S3, step one, what you need to do is to create a bucket. Then step two, what you can do, you can upload the object. Upload the object into the bucket. Okay. Step one is mandatory. You have to create the bucket. If you want to upload the object, if you want to store anything in your S3 service, it can be any file. Step one, what you have to do, you have to create a bucket. It's mandatory. What AWS S3 says that bucket should be available. First step, what you need to do is to create a bucket. In databases, when you're learning with Oracle or SQL Server, first step what we do, if you want to store some data, first step we create a table, isn't it? Then we insert the row, something similar to it. The first step what you have to do is to create a bucket. So we'll be also experiencing the same process. So when we are learning about practicals, we will learn how to create a bucket. And then once the bucket is ready, then only we can upload the objects into the bucket. So I hope you have understood the importance of the bucket. So bucket is mandatory if you want to store some objects in S3. Bucket name should be unique globally. Unique globally. What does that mean? Let's say if you have created a bucket with the name bucket1, bucket name should be unique. If you have created in your AWS account a bucket with the name bucket1, I cannot create a bucket with the same name bucket1. It's already existing. Okay, so whenever you're creating a bucket, it should be unique. So remember this point. I hope I'm very clear in explaining this. It's an object storage. You have to create a bucket and then you can upload the objects into the bucket. Let's learn something more. 99%, 99.9% available. That means 100% available. AWS guaranteed. Tiered storage. So what is tiered storage? AWS provides different types of tiers. We'll be discussing in detail about tier storage. We have features like lifecycle management. We will learn practically lifecycle management, versioning, encryption. These are some features. Features are nothing but advantages what S3 provides. You can enable versioning. You can maintain different versions of the object. You can encrypt your data. You can access your object. You can securely provide access to other users using access control list and bucket policies. All this we will be learning practically. We'll be learning how to provide versioning, how can we provide lifecycle management. All this we will be discussing in detail one after the other. Okay, let's move on. Different classes also called as tiered. So there are different classes. We'll discuss this later when we learn practically. When AWS provides you unlimited storage, okay, unlimited storage, and AWS provides you these kind of advantages like versioning, encryption, lifecycle management, access control list. When they're providing these many advantages, obviously they will charge for it. On what basis you get the bill? You, in the sense, client get the bills. When a client uses object storage called S3, on what basis you get the bill? You get the bill based on the number of how much data you have stored it. Okay, the more the data, the more the bill. How many people are requesting your data? Number of users requesting your object. Based on that, you get the charge. Based on the storage management, that is called as TS. We'll see it soon. Based on the data transfer, the more you transfer the data, the more you get the bill. When you enable transfer acceleration, you get the bill. When you enable cross-region replication, you get the bill. So you will be getting, you in the sense, client gets the bills based on these points, based on the amount of data which they store, based on the request users are doing, based on the transfer acceleration. So the more the advantages you are enjoying, the obviously you will be charged for it. Okay, so transfer acceleration, all this we will be looking at practical. So I hope you got an understanding about S3. It's a storage service. Ultimately, you can store your files in S3. Clear about basic understanding about how exactly S3 helps the clients to manage their objects. Any questions? Ashish Gupta. Any questions, Ashish, specific to S3? I can see your hand raised. Yes, Ashish. We cannot hear you, Ashish. Check your mic settings. Prasad SVN.
Hi, Sunil. Very good morning. Is it audible?
You are audible, and nice to speak to you, Prasad. Your question,
Yeah.
please.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me convey my thanks to you
Thank
for
you.
providing such a quality that too at free of cost online.
Thank you. And please don't encourage. So there are some many people, many middlemen disturbing the WhatsApp groups, providing messages that they will provide you recordings for 50 rupees or 100 rupees or something like that.
Sure.
Please don't encourage middlemen. There are people who are wantedly disturbing this kind of trainings. Okay, by the competitors. Yeah. Yes. Your question.
Since the day one, I'm just attending all the classes, but since day one, I do see that, and of course, like website mentions, AWS provides 99.99%, that is almost to 100%
100% available. Okay.
accuracy. But since it is just a technology, and it definitely is some point of time, and maybe someday there may be an impact, because it is not even mentioned 100%. There may be impact, and AWS provides 99.99% guarantee. What in case of a client has some accessing some data, or maybe it may be happen anything, how they are going to
Get the
reciprocate?
data.
Yep, reciprocate. Yep.
I think you are pointing to natural calamities like earthquakes or something like it happens in a specific region. Agree, Prasad?
Not exactly, because it may have some other data, different locations the data is stored. So if
That's
one
it.
is down, another will be up. That part I do understand that. But what I'm saying that if the data, maybe in the technology itself, if the data is corrupted, maybe if the data is
In
replicated
such
across all the
case, if the technology fails, we cannot do anything. Okay, that's what AWS guarantees. Okay, it also handles natural calamities, as you have mentioned. You can maintain a synchronization data recovery service, data disaster recovery set in some other regions, so we can overcome even the natural disasters. But just we have to trust on technology. Okay, isn't it?
Yeah,
Prasad?
because the one point of time, even YouTube, Twitter, something, those giant, products also have gone through some difficulties in some of the time. Of course, it's not all the time, but at one point of time, also those giant products also into trouble actually. So fraction of moments.
Yes.
So
But if technology failures happens, we cannot do anything. Okay.
all right.
That's how the industry is getting drive days, isn't it? Okay.
All right. Thank you. That's what. Thank you.
Any
I
more
got it.
technical questions? This is clear, Prasad, whatever we are learning day to day.
Yes, I'm
The EC2
pretty much
service
there.
and
And
you
so
know
far,
AWS, or is it the first time you're learning AWS?
this is very first time.
Okay. You are attending from the beginning?
Yes, from the day one.
Okay. Thank you.
It was very
hope,
awesome and easy to understand.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prasad.
Bob.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your feedback. And if you're happy, share it to your friends about our upcoming batches.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you
Yep,
very much.
definitely. Thank you.
Any technical questions? Desmond.
Yes, hi, Sunil. Thank you very much for this class. Really, it's very easy to understand you. I like the way you explain. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're from US?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm coming from the US.
Yes.
I'm calling because I want to know the difference between the S3 bucket and the EBS storage.
Yes, good question. EBS storage, you have experienced it when you're learning about EC2 service, agree?
Yes.
We have two types of storage, EBS storage and then the root volume, EBS volume. Okay, generally root volume will have operating system and EBS volume will have additional space. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, S3 is purely object storage, as I have mentioned just now. It is purely an object storage. That means you can save files. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Can you install operating system in this object storage? Let's say if you want to install any specific software, do you think can it be possible? No, not possible. It's an object storage. Desmond, I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. If you want to install any specific software, let's say you want to install operating system. If not operating system, you want to install some other software. Do you think S3 object storage will allow you to do that? No, not at all. Whereas you can install some softwares in the EBS volume. I hope you understand. Okay, EBS volume is something like a C drive in your personal laptop where you have all the softwares installed. Okay, so this is pure object storage, and this one is specially for EC2 machines. Okay, I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, But you can also install objects in the EBS storage.
Yeah,
right?
that is anyways there. We can store
Okay.
files in object storage, but you will not enjoy the advantages of encryption, lifecycle management, tiered storage, whatever I have just discussed in my PPT. Okay.
Okay.
So you, obviously
Okay.
those advantages you cannot enjoy because this S3 is purely designed for managing the objects which you have saved. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Clear this one. I hope you're understanding whatever I am saying.
Yes. 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 Thank you.
Kapil Mishra.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Yes, Kapil. Good
I'm
morning.
from the Delhi NCR.
Okay.
Thanks for giving the opportunity, sir. Actually, my question is not related to technical. From last 2 to 3 days, I'm trying to join the WhatsApp group for this batch, and you were providing on a chat some links. I was trying to join that. Like yesterday, Sayed Hussain said, there's an error showing that the group is full.
Okay.
So may I join? So actually, 2 to 3 lecture I missed just because of the health problem. I joined from the first day, but 2 to 3 lecture in mid of the start like 2 to 4. Then again I started.
Okay.
So in that group, I hopefully that video will be
You want to
available.
join the WhatsApp group of this particular batch? Agree?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, please. As of now, WhatsApp group 15 is free. Not only you, in case if any of the participants wants to join. Kapil,
Yes, sir.
can you see the chat box now?
Yes.
Please join now.
Okay, sir. I'm joining. See.
Okay. Thank you, Kapil. Let's move on. Let's get into practicals of S3. So you understand S3. S3 is object storage. Features of S3. Features of S3 is nothing but encryption, whatever I have just discussed on the PowerPoint. Right? These are the special features of S3. Encryption, versioning, lifecycle management, tiered storage, accessing the control using access control links, bucket policies. These are all the features. Anyways, we'll discuss the features of S3 practically. Let's get into practicals of S3. Let's experience how can we upload our object into the bucket. So I want to create a bucket. So let's log into S3. You know the URL is aws.amazon.com. I've logged in. Services. We are now learning the second service called as S3. Under storage, you can experience the service S3. Okay, sorry. Please ignore this. 1 minute, please. Please give me a minute. Give me a minute so that I can teach you from the scratch. Okay. So this is how it looks like when you go to services. Under storage, select the service S3. So you'll be landing into S3 service. This is the first page looks like. This is the dashboard of S3. You can clearly obviously see that there are no buckets. You do not have any buckets. So first step, what we have, if you want to use S3, it's mandatory that you have to create a bucket. So let's go ahead and create a bucket. And I hope you remember one important point, the bucket name should be unique globally. So keep that in mind. So I'm going ahead and creating a bucket. Okay. So the bucket name which I want to maintain, I want to create the bucket name as, let's say bucket, some number, 25. I'm sure this bucket will not exist, is already in use. I'm creating a bucket. We have an option. Right now, no buckets. I want to create a bucket. Yes, I want to create a bucket. What's the name of the bucket you want to create? Okay. I want to create a bucket with the name bucket 25. In which region you want to create the bucket? Do you want to create the bucket in Mumbai region? Do you want to create the bucket in Singapore region, Sydney region? It's up to you. Based on your requirement, you can create a bucket. I want to create the bucket in the Mumbai region. Scroll down. By default, the bucket is blocked. Remove the block. Acknowledge the settings and go ahead and create a bucket. You can see the bucket already exists. So already some other user has already created a bucket. So bucket name should be unique. So if you create a bucket with the name bucket 1, bucket 10, bucket 25, bucket 100, obviously that will be already existing. So you need to have some unique number. So make sure that the bucket name is available. Okay. So I want to create a bucket. My name of the bucket is bucket -45657. I think this will be definitely available. And go ahead and create a bucket. So this is how we can create the buckets in S3 successfully. You can see a message, successfully we have created a bucket. Perfect. I'm done with creating the bucket. This is the name of the bucket, bucket -45657. And it is very obvious that the bucket is created in the Mumbai region. Okay. Can I create one more bucket? Yes, why not? You can create a number of buckets. I want to create a second bucket. I want to create one more bucket. Bucket name can be bucket -some number. Okay. And this time, for a change, I want to create the bucket in Singapore region. It's up to you. Okay. So I'm creating a bucket in the Singapore region. By default, the bucket is blocked. Remove the block. Acknowledge the settings, whichever you are doing now, and go ahead and create the bucket. So creating a bucket is as simple as that. So I have created my second bucket. So total, how many buckets I have created? I have created 2 buckets. One bucket is Mumbai region and one bucket in Singapore region. Okay, like this, you can create a number of buckets. Very important observation. Very important observation. The dashboard of S3. The dashboard of S3 is global. That by default, the dashboard of S3 is global. Unlike EC2, in EC2, what we used to do, we used to create a select a region and then we used to create the EC2 machines inside the region. Here, by default is global. There is no concept of selecting the region. Can you see? S3 does not require region selection. There is no concept of selecting region. It is disabled. It's not region specific dashboard. EC2 is region specific dashboard. We have experience. We have created EC2 machines in Singapore region. We have created EC2 machines in Mumbai region. A EC2 machine available in Mumbai region is not available in Singapore. A machine created in Singapore is not be available in the Mumbai. It's region specific dashboard. Whereas S3 dashboard is global. You can create one bucket in Singapore region, create one bucket in Mumbai region, create one bucket in Virginia region. So by default, it's global. You can see a list of all the buckets in all the regions. The behavior of S3 dashboard is global. It's not regional specific. I hope I'm very clear in explaining you the dashboard behavior. By default, it's not by default. Always S3 dashboard is global. We are done with creating a bucket. Okay, now why did we create a bucket? Why did we create a bucket? Obviously, we want to upload the objects into the bucket. It's a storage service. I want to experience how exactly we can store the objects into the bucket. Okay, so let's experience. Which object I want to upload. Let's experience. I want to upload my object into my first bucket. I want to upload the object in my first bucket. Okay, so which object you want to upload? Let's say object is nothing but a file. You know this. I want to upload this particular object. For example, the name of the object is AWS image.jpg. Can you see here? This is the object. Got it? This is the object which I want to upload. Now, where is my object available? It is available in my desktop. What's the name of the object? AWS_image.jpg. How can we upload the objects into the bucket? The user interface is pretty simple. I want to upload the objects into my first bucket. So select the bucket. You can see right now I'm in this particular bucket. You have all the options. You can see there's an option called upload, which helps you to happily upload the objects into the bucket. So upload and mention the object you want to upload. Go to add files. And my object is available in my desktop. The name of the image is AWS image.jpg. I am selecting the object. You can see the object is selected. Okay. Next. Go to permissions. I want to grant public access. I want anybody in the world to access my object. So that's the reason by default it is private. Nobody can access, only the owner can access the owner of the object can access that. But I want to have public access, so I'm providing the public access. I understand the settings, and then I have upload, will upload the object. Upload succeeded, done. I'm done. I have successfully created a bucket, and then I have successfully uploaded the object into the bucket. How many objects I have uploaded? Only one object I have uploaded. This is the name of the object, and this is the size of the object. I'm done with uploading the object. Clear about this? Pretty simple. The user interface is very simple. We have created a bucket. We have uploaded the object into the bucket. And do you remember I have provided public access, so anybody in the world can access the object. Let's say I want you to access my object. Okay, how can we access the object? Click on the object. Whenever you select an object, you get a unique URL called as an object URL. Every object will have a unique URL called as an object URL. I'm copying this object URL and I'm trying it from my browser. Are you able to access the object? Am I able to access the object? Yes, you can access the object using the object URL. Not only me, anybody in the world can access the object using the object URL. I am sending the object URL in the chat box. Pick up the object URL from the chat box and try from your personal laptops, from your mobile phones. Open Google Chrome, copy the URL which I have just sent you in the chat box. Copy the object URL which I have just sent you in the chat box and try it from your personal laptops or desktops or mobile phones. Open the Chrome or any other browser and try to access the object, and please respond, are you able to access the object? Copy the object from the chat box, and I hope you have copied the object. Can you respond? Are you able to access the object? So that is the importance. How can we access the object? Perfect. Object can be accessed using the object URL whenever you upload the objects. Yes. Thank you very much for your responses. Whenever you upload the objects, an object unique URL will be generated. That's called as an object URL. So using the object URL, you can access the object. So we have learned the basic operations like how to create a bucket. You can see the bucket has been created, and you also have experienced the dashboard is global always. And you also now know how can we upload the objects into the bucket and how can we access the objects. Okay. Yes. Ashish, anything more? Any question, Ashish? We cannot hear you, Ashish. Sorry. Good morning, Abdullah.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, sir.
You're from which
Actually,
city?
I Delhi.
Okay.
I want to know, can we create an object using authentication?
Using?
Authentication, like user ID and password.
You want to create an object using authentication.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Actually, just you now created the bucket. Okay, in bucket, simply click on that URL and it will redirect to.
Anybody in the world can access the object using the object URL. Because I have made it public. Okay. If you don't want to make it public, you want to access the object only when a user logs in. So we can also see that we can restrict it using access control list. Okay. How can we do that? We'll see in coming classes. Clear, Abdullah?
Okay. One more thing.
Yep.
That you created that Windows server in first class. Okay.
Sorry.
You created Windows server in first class.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we implement that Windows server on the premises?
There's a lot of disturbance, Abdullah.
Actually, right now I'm driving. I'm going to office. Every day while I'm driving, I'm hearing you.
Your question one more time. Please repeat your question one more time.
Can we implement that we have created that Windows server in our on premises? Can
Please.
we?
You can create your own server. What's up to you? Okay.
No. How we can that implement on premises?
On premises is nothing but it's not you're talking about not about AWS.
No. I am talking about AWS. Like AWS, we have created the Windows server. Okay.
Okay.
Can we implement that Windows server in my office?
Implement in the sense?
Implement.
You can do that. Definitely. Okay.
Okay. How we can do that? Can you explain?
The same thing you have to do it, right? I don't understand your question, Abdullah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
When I say on premises, it's not on cloud. On premises, Abdullah, is nothing but you have to buy the hardware, you have to take the internet connection, and then you have to apply for static IPs. Once you have the static IP using VMware ESXi, install the software, install the operating system, then it is called as an on premises. Okay. When the hardware is with you, it is called as on premises. When the hardware is with AWS, it is called as AWS cloud. Let's have one more interaction. Arun Kumar.
Hi Sunil.
Yeah.
Good morning to all. So just one of my friends shared this details to me to join in this class as a free time. So I like to, first of all, I like to thanks you just from day before yesterday I joined it for and yesterday the snapshots I could not able to join. Today I joined for S3 buckets.
Okay.
So it's really very good, and I need to know when the new batch is going to start.
After 20 days.
After 20 days. Okay, fine. So actually, I have one more question on day before yesterday. Like you have added like additional disk on Linux machines, right?
Yes.
So the disk will be starting with SDV A, B, C, or it will come at like a disk level, random number, or it will be changing.
No, it will not change, but the URL will be random. Okay.
No, actually, additional disk we are adding, right? So for example, in Linux, is we adding means /dev/SDA and SDB, it will come. Okay.
Yes.
And if here, like if you are adding means additional disk, it will start with F or G or something.
That's what I said. It is random. Okay. It's not in your control. Okay.
Okay. And one more question here, like you told, like we can downgrade that disk size.
Yes.
Okay. By default is 8 GB, right?
Yes.
When we create it. So do we able to downgrade that one? Because
the minimum is 8 GB. You don't need to do that because till 8 GB it is free. Okay.
Till 8 GB is free.
Yeah.
But in case if Red Hat machine 8 is coming with the default OS is coming with the 8.8 or 8 GB OS, right?
Okay.
So in that case, what will happen? Like till 7 OS we have till 7 GB OS we will utilize that.
You're talking about the OS which you are installing from the whatever you have downloaded software. This is Amazon machine images. This will take very less size. Okay. This is configured operating systems as per AWS EC2 machines. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks for it.
Okay, so we are done with creating the object. So now we are able to access the object using object URL. Let's say I don't want to provide the public access. If you don't want to provide the public access, I want to change the permissions. I go to permissions. Do you remember I have provided public access, isn't it? Okay. This is public access. I can edit it. So this is at the bucket level. Go to image, go to permissions. Public access is available. Edit. I'm removing the public access. I'm removing the public access checkbox and saved it. So as I am the owner of the object, I can control. Now, I have removed the public access. Now, if you try to access the object using the object URL, copy, try again from your personal laptops. As I have removed the access, now you can see you can access denied. Nobody can access the object. I can control when my object want to be visible, when my object wants to be not to be visible to public, or if you want your object to be available to limited number of resources, to limited number of AWS accounts. It's up to you. How do you control it? Okay, by using these options. Okay, we'll discuss more about this access now. If you don't want the object anymore, you can delete the object. Let's say I want to delete the object. This is the object, the basic operations. So let's learn how can we delete it. Delete. Once the object is deleted, the bucket becomes empty. Delete the object. So whenever you don't want an object, you can delete the object, and whenever you don't want the bucket, you can delete the bucket. Okay, so I don't want this particular bucket, I can delete it. Done. Okay, so one important point, you need to be very careful with bucket naming rules. AWS S3 bucket name rules. It's very important that you have to have a quick understanding about bucket naming rules. There are some restrictions when you're naming a bucket. The first thing is bucket name should be unique globally. Look at the rules of bucket naming. When you want to provide a name to the bucket, it should be minimum 3 characters to 63 characters. It can only allow lowercase letters, numbers, dots, and hyphens. It will not allow special characters like @ dollar, hash. These kind of special symbols are not allowed. The only thing is lowercase letters, numbers, dots, and hyphens. Bucket name must begin and end with a letter or a number. Bucket name should not be in this IP address format like this. It should never be in the IP address format. Okay. So these are the three important few points which you need to keep in mind when you're naming a bucket. So we have experienced how object storage, we have experienced how to create a bucket and how to upload the objects into the bucket, and how can we access the object. We can access the object by using the object URL. We have made the object private. We have deleted the object. We have deleted buckets. There are few important options available in the bucket. Let's experience some of the objects available in the bucket. You can see here, I have selected a bucket. Go to properties. There are a lot of features. You can say features, you can say advantages, you can say options. AWS bucket helps you in enabling versioning. You can maintain different versions of the object. You can have encryptions. You can, when you think that the object is very secure, clients can use encryption, and so the data can be encrypted and saved. You can save tags. You can provide tags to the objects. Okay. AWS provides server access logging, cloud trials, event notifications, transfer acceleration, object locks, requester pace, static website hosting. These are all several advantages what clients can enjoy when they choose S3 storage for their storing their files. Okay. More options about practicals of buckets. How can we enable versioning? How can we access versioning? You can use the buckets for static website hosting. You can lock a particular object. You can provide access to object to limited number of participants. All these special features of buckets we will be experiencing in our tomorrow session. Okay, we are done with our agenda for today's session. You now know S3. S3 is a object storage. You have learned few features of S3, but we have not jumped into practicals. We'll be looking into practicals of S3. We have understood how to create a bucket. How can we upload the objects into the bucket? You know how to make object public and private. You have to do hands-on. So only when you do hands-on, it will be much more interesting. So you know how to delete the objects and delete the buckets. We have just discussed about options. The more practicals about options in buckets we will be discussing in our next session. Okay. And you know, we will not have sessions on weekend, no session on Saturday and Sunday. The next session will be on Monday. Or Monday's plan is to get into more options or more features about bucket. Before ending into the today's session, any questions? Kalandar. Kalandar. Please unmute. And you can have a talk.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
Create a bucket. Okay. Just I want to upload my Excel file.
You can do that.
I'm getting some error. We have not able to open this. I opened that link. It is not opening.
You have successfully uploaded the object. You are not able to open it. Okay. Yes. That object should be compatible to browser. Okay.
Okay.
Are you understanding? The object should be compatible. Let's say you have uploaded zip file. Can you access it from the browser? So it should be, the object should be compatible to browser. Okay, then only you can access. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Try to upload an image instead of Excel file and experience it. So the browser compatibility should appear. Agree?
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, Shafiq. How are you doing? Shafiq, your question. We cannot hear you, Shafiq. Dubey, good morning.
Good morning, Sunil.
Yep.
Myself Pankaj Dubey. I am from Mumbai.
Okay.
Thank you for this lovely sessions.
Thank you.
I joined from day one.
How many years of experience you are having?
10 plus.
Okay.
In core IT infrastructure.
Oh wow. Okay, you are able to understand, relate your IT infrastructure with this AWS cloud, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like everything on a very soft manner. Whatever we do in the infra, that was.
You are able to relate it to the whatever we are learning in our day-to-day classes. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I have.
So you know AWS, or is the first time you are learning AWS?
It's first time.
Okay. It's good because you're from the infrastructure team. Learning AWS definitely will add value to your profile, isn't it, Dubey? You know how the market is.
Exactly.
Yes, your question.
So first is my requirement. I'm not able to join any of the WhatsApp group.
Okay. I have just sent you one group.
Every group,
right? Is it full?
Every group is full.
Okay, no, there's one more group. Go back. Give me 1 minute. Okay. It's very difficult. Okay. To manage. Dubey, 1 minute, please.
I think when you ping anything in the chat section, there's a lot of people who are not able to join the WhatsApp group, and they just all of a sudden attack on that group.
Yeah. Dubey. There are 20 available slots available in this. Can you see my chat box, the WhatsApp link, Dubey?
Yeah, just. Yes.
Are you able to successfully join? Click on that.
Joining. 254 years. Yeah, just join.
Yeah, joined successfully?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm also giving it to others. Now others can join. Okay. Any technical questions?
Yeah. In part of technical questions, in the earlier session, you showed that there are dynamic DNS URL, which have the load balancer in backend and having the two machines.
Yes.
So in that URL, there is a HTTP, and here when we use the storage bucket URL, it's having the HTTPS. So is there any restrictions for the HTTPS SSL certification
Yes, there is a
with the
restriction.
URL?
Yeah. You are right. We will experience that when we are learning about Route 53, Dubey.
Okay.
Okay. So as of now, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Anything more?
And the third one is when we create any machines, so we know that we created this machine, but in between there's a calls from somewhere and we forgot we create that machine. So is there any
We forward?
dash? We forget that we created a machine or learn over the AWS.
Okay.
So is there any dashboard we show what
List
all
of
the
all the
active...
infrastructure which you have created in your AWS account?
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's no such option.
Yes.
So we need to manually remember where exactly you have created EC2 machines. Okay. In Singapore or
Okay.
whatever locations, and you have to delete it. Dubai. It's our responsibility.
Okay. So we have to manually note down what all actions we are perform in the free account.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dubey. Nice to speak to you.
And
please continue till the rest of the
you
training
are
and be regular,
doing-
and then
you
you
are
get the best.
doing the Yes, sir. You are doing a very good thing, because knowingly unknowingly we are not upskilling ourselves and we stuck somewhere sometime.
We should
So
be
it's
out
a-
of our comfort zone, especially in the career IT industry.
Exactly.
We should
sir.
be out of our comfort zone, because then only we can leverage ourselves in the career. Okay, if we are in the comfort zone, let's say once we reach 10 years, more than 10 years of experience, then we should be very careful, isn't it, Dubey? Right? The moment we cross more than 10 years of experience, we should have cutting edge advantages with respect to other profiles. Isn't it, Dubey?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
One more interaction. Raghuvanshi.
Hello. Hi, Sunil.
Yes. Good morning, Raghuvanshi.
Yeah. Good morning. So, first of all, thank you for this session.
Thank you.
Yeah. My question is related to me. Suppose we upload some object, right, into the bucket. So we provide the access privileges for bucket or for object only. Means, for example,
There are both levels. Okay. You can provide, let's say in one bucket there are 10 objects, Ashish. You can provide individual object access, or you can provide the complete bucket access. If you provide complete bucket access,
okay,
all the objects, all the 10 objects which are there in the bucket, everybody can access all the 10. Okay, there are in both the levels.
Okay,
we'll see
okay.
it soon. Okay,
Yeah,
access
yeah,
that is called access control list. That is
Okay.
available at the bucket level. That is also available at the individual object level. Okay.
Okay. And the second question is like the earlier one of the candidate asked, means he trying to upload the Excel, right? So the browser is not compatible, so it was open that Excel. But means suppose we upload some object, right? So we provide that privilege to some user to download that image or download that Excel file.
Yes, they can download it. Okay.
Okay. So for that, on the same URL they can download it, or we can provide some
No, that's a different. He needs to log in. Let's say I have uploaded an object, Raghuvanshi, and I want to give you access to that particular object. Okay, I take your AWS account ID and then I provide access to your AWS account. You have to log into your AWS account, Ashish. Okay, you have to go to S3, and the object which I have uploaded, that will be available in your dashboard. Okay, wherein which you can download it. Okay, we'll see that all this. We'll see it in the coming classes.
Fine. Thank you, Sunil.
Anything more, Raghuvanshi?
No, Sunil. Thank you.
Are you doing hands-on?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know about this training?
Actually, I know this training from my one of the friend.
Mhm.
So I from last couple of months I'm trying to join this training, but due to some circumstances, not able to join. So finally, I joined this batch.
Are you happy with the training?
Yes, it's very good.
Thank you very much.
I have more than 10 years of experience in .NET technology.
Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you, Raghuvanshi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I have a nice weekend. I hope you have enjoyed this training. So more details about S3, more features about S3 we'll be discussing in our tomorrow session. Not tomorrow session, Monday session. Have a nice weekend. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.